Morning Floss Tube, I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I've already changed my plans for this morning. I was going to cast on a pair of socks for Halloween, and I was going to use some gorgeous self-striping yarn. It is called Fall Night. It's a Regia yarn by Arnie and Carlos. I've knit socks with this before because when I splurged on it, there was an insane mix-up with my order, and I wound up with 4 skeins of this colorway instead of 2, and knitted up one pair and then set aside the other yarn thinking I didn't really want to knit another pair of identical socks. I thought I'd use a texture or something different, but then this morning I started thinking about it, and I need some mindless knitting on my needles, and isn't it the perfect time for self-striping yarn in Halloween colors? I think it is. No, the yarn is not in my bin of sock yarn. It's in a safe place, I'm sure. I just don't know where that safe place is. But all is not lost because I have other yarn that would be good for Halloween. And I'm kind of undecided what I'm going to use. This is Knit Picks Essential, and the color is Shale Multi. It has probably been discontinued for a decade or more, but it's grays and browns, and it seems kind of autumny. And then I have some Drops of a Bell. I did a video not too long ago about how Drops of a Bell is one of my favorite cheap sock yarns. This one, the color name is Blue Brown Mix. They do not waste any energy on their color naming, but don't you see a stormy Halloween sky in that? Because I sure do. And the third choice is Lion Brand Sockies. I don't even know if they make this one anymore. I was digging deep into my stash. All of their Sockies yarns were named after candies. This one is toffee, and toffee might be a good Halloween choice, so I'm undecided. I'm going to cast on one of them, probably as soon as I am done with this video while it's transferring from the camera onto my computer. I like knitting socks for Halloween. And it's cold out. I'm almost at the point where I would wear socks. I'm sandals until it gets so cold I can't do that anymore. There is a group on Ravelry. It is... Shoot, I was going to write it down. I always get it wrong. It's like Super Sock Scarefest. And every year they do socks based on horror movies or inspired by horror movies. And I stumbled across them by accident a few years ago when I found the free pattern for this pair of socks. It's called Manor du Diable. Probably pronouncing that wrong. I knit my pair out of Patent Stretch, another long discontinued yarn. That's going to be a recurring theme here. On all of my knitting videos, I love that yarn. I wish they still made it. And I love the socks because they have this arched pattern that looks like Gothic windows in a castle. And the movie that inspired them is a silent movie from 1896 that, according to the designer of the pattern, I'm not doing research to check her facts, is believed to be the first horror movie. I can't make it through all 3 minutes of it. I've tried a couple times, but it's got a bat transforming into a person, and it's fun. And other socks I have knit for that group, these are, what are these? Finding the Yellow Brick Road. The pattern is by Kate Poe. You've seen these on my Floss Tube videos before because I struggled with these enclosed cables. And this pair, the Wicker Socks by Jupiter Lily Designs. They were inspired by the movie The Wicker Man. I don't know who let me watch the original Wicker Man when I was an extremely young child. In hindsight, that just boggles my mind, and that movie is one of those things that made it into my subconscious and kind of haunted me for until I saw it as an adult, and I think at some point I read the book that it was based on. I saw a lot. I grew up in the very early days of VHS and video rentals and cable television, and I saw quite a few things I probably shouldn't have seen for the age I was. I also made the Charlie Mcgee socks by Tiffany Roan. These are inspired by the movie Firestarter. Don't love the movie so much, absolutely adore the book. I read it when it very first came out, again when I was probably too young for that. But the socks were fun, and the idea of knitting a pair of socks inspired by something that I enjoy makes me smile. And if you see me fiddling around here, I'm putting different socks on my sock blockers so I can show them to you. The Charlie Mcgee socks are a free Ravelry download. The Manoir du Diable socks are a free Ravelry download. The others are now, they were free to members of the group when they were current, and now they are paid patterns. One of my favorite from the Scary Socks is this pair, which is inspired by the movie The Fly. And can you see the bobbles and the wings? And these were a challenge. Bobbles aren't hard. I just don't like doing them. So challenge my patience more than anything else. And I unearthed these this morning when I was looking for that sock yarn because they're too pretty to wear. They're too much work to wear. And I know I should wear them. One of the things that I like about doing this group, and I have not started a pair of socks this year, although the Sharknado socks were tempting me. They're challenging, but it's competitive, but it's not the same kind of competitive as Sock Madness. And a couple years ago I did Jack or Not by Sharon B. Metcalf. These were the warm-up pattern, and they're socks. They're orange. They have pumpkins on them. What more can I say? And then there's another pair I did called Convoluted Clues, which is inspired by the movie Zodiac from 2007. I don't know anything about the movie, but I was in the mood to knit socks along with the rest of the group, and this is one of the few pairs I did knit at the same time as the rest of the group was knitting them. I can't believe I forgot to include the faces in the wallpaper socks. These are by Judith Lilly Designs, and these are one of my favorite pairs of Scary Socks that I've knit, especially because it is really easy to see faces in my own wallpaper in my house. So those are my horror-inspired socks that I have done over the past few years. I thought I was going to be doing more this year, but there is enough going on that I think I am just going to pick some pretty self-striping yarn and let the yarn do the hard work and enjoy the process. And let it do its thing. Let me know, do you knit socks inspired by movies, or do you knit socks at all? If there is something, a bandwagon that everybody else is jumping on, but it's not a franchise you're excited about, do you jump on anyway, or what do you do? I'm curious. I was really tempted by the Witchy Stitcher's Chopping Mall, but a lot of the movies weren't movies that I love enough to stitch about, and then I saw some of the things people added on, and I should have played, and I should have twisted and tweaked it to fit my own horror movie viewing, but I don't know if I have the talent for that. Thanks for watching. I am Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I'll be back with you again soon.